Sorry, Kiwi fags. Life doesn't work out the way you pretend it does.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Midnight Show. It is August 9th, 2024. Hope you're all doing well. And it was just one of those days where I was sitting around, nothing to do, and what do you know, there has been an interesting new development. Interesting new matter of public record attached. There it is. I was looking for the proper words. So what, might you ask, is the subject matter for tonight's stream? And well, you see, there's a fella that needs to dab on the haters. No, not me, of course. You see, Nick Rekieta has gotten his kids back. A round of applause. He is no longer a deadbeat dad. Round of applause for Mr. Nick Rekieta. And to celebrate having his kids back at home, he needed to do a live stream informing all of the haters that they are in fact wrong, that they are in fact owned, that they are in fact felted and blown the fuck out. And in this stream, we see some leaking of DMs between Nick Rekieta, holder of the Baldo, one internet lawyer that many have become acquainted with over the years, and the other, Josh Moon, of Kiwi Farms. The DMs between the two have been leaked by none other than Nick Rekieta, the Baldo himself. So let's go ahead and jump into this live. You know what I'm going to do? We'll check the comments real quick and see if there are some good time codes. And it doesn't really look. There's one time code, 14012. The government meat grinder. Heart this clip. Well articulated and overwhelmingly accurate. Here we go. I'll go ahead and show you guys the exchange in the comments. It's unfortunate and ruins families, and it's exactly what they want. I wonder who they is. Who's the they in this scenario? So does 25 grams of Coke. So excellent response there from Mark Down I'm Stupid. Now, we have this stream of Nick Rekieta nearly 3 hours long. I have it at 1.25 speed because it's already late in the night. And listening to this guy is more Hi, doggo. It's more helpful in helping you sleep than any amount of over-the-counter medication you can find. But we also have a couple of clips, and then we have the screenshots of the DMs, so we can just read through them at our own leisure. We also have the post from MN Public Records that we can take a look at if we care to. We have a couple more documents in there. But from here, let's just see how this stream of his started off, and I'll kick back for just a second and catch up on chat. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Alright, I'm going to crank the volume on his a little bit. Let's see how it...
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome
Maybe a
to
little
Lost
louder
Finding the
than
Interwebs.
expected.
I got frosting on my shirt. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small
And
law
for the
firm.
record, he is at 1.25 speed. So if he appears to be jittery, he might be jittery, but also he's sped up.
Firm in Central.
Motherfucker needs to take a shower, though. Like, I'm not sure if it shows properly on my or on your end. This dude looks greasier than a dude in a ditch asking you for an extra nickel.
Minnesota, how you doing tonight? How we doing, chat? I hope you're doing well. It's up to YouTube. Big shout out to Rumble. Also,
I'm actually
I hope you
doing
guys-
good,
Yeah,
asshole.
and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good night. Good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I'm doing pretty well.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Are the haters owned?
you know, I'm like, what? I look different. I look different. I don't have my lights on. This fucking... I was eating one of those cookies with frosting all over me you get from Walmart. Hold on.
All right. Excellent work.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I
There's a
can't
little
talk
bit-
too much shit. I'm watching it, right? But let's skip around a little bit. Perfect.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, hey guys, we've got a show
Get to the
today.
DMs.
I've got a big update in my case.
Okay.
What is happening?
So we'll skip
Noise out-
to
What's that noise?
dude's
He's out there.
is he literally hallucinating? Like this he's 2 minutes into his stream and he's already hearing ceiling cats from off camera.
Ow. Goodness gracious. Got a big update in my case. I mean, it was technically yesterday. I kind of talked, I posted about it. A lot of other people talked about it. But I'll kind of give you an update. A pulse check, if you will. But we're going to wait a little bit to start that. I just want to get, some people the opportunity to catch up and realize that the show is on out there.
Let's skip a little.
And kind of put it to bed a little bit. I don't know how else to say it. So we'll get there in a few.
Holy fuck with the
We're not
foreplay.
going to do that.
All right.
But Tim Walz has to be even uglier. That was my point. That was sorry. I got.
Oh,
off
man.
track, like, 'cause
We're
I got
gonna have
disgusted and
to-
horrified, and then I longed for better days.
We're going to have to take a look at those DMs. It's like Christmas comes every other day. You really couldn't be a happier guy to be following all this stupid bullshit right now.
Where it's like, well, at least Al Gore's a better looking woman than Kamala Harris. But no, Tim Walz is even uglier. But he's just like Gavin Newsom in his policies and his approaches. He's Minnesota isn't Diet California. It's just California, but with Midwest looks. And it's always how it's been. Walz is a Minnesota 8 or whatever. And so I think that's why
So
they
he had that Freudian slip a second ago about Al Gore. I just wanted to point that out.
picked him. It's like all of the progressiveness, but none of the hair gel. There we go. I'm trying to wake up. I was like almost asleep. I was like, oh my God, it's after 11. I got to get downstairs. Kamala was attractive when she was young, but not since. Oh God. Monty.
He thought about Al Gore being attractive though. So we have a couple of clips here. Let's see. This is the new Dorito chip clip. It's a little off, but I'm not going to bother cropping it.
I'd say egg on your face, but you'd eat it.
Okay.
Anyway,
The volume was a little louder than I expected. My apologies. But really, get wrecked. Everybody on Kiwi Farms, just get wrecked. Here's Nick just dabbing on you.
Alicia Sweep lied, stating that I prevented her from accessing the bedroom and closing the door. That was a lie under oath. That was a lie under oath. A CPS worker named Alicia Sweep in Candy, Ojai County, Minnesota, lied under oath in the case against me.
So it's pretty cut and dry. he just said it right there. But yeah, let's go and check back in with this guy.
He is going to eat me. Well, he should save the eating for what he really likes to eat. I think we've covered that one already. Okay, we got some chats. Let's hit these chats, and then we'll get into the show. So we're going to talk about... Look, I wanted an excuse to talk about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
All right, come on.
Out with it, Supreme Court. And that's about power.
Come on, we don't want to hear about the news, asshole.
Order their police. Like, I guess is
Amazon
UK order.
I want to hear about why you look like you haven't fucking showered in like a week.
Look at this shit. I mean, hold on. I know you can't see it yet. Oh, fucking hell. The pin he's wearing is even gay. There we go.
Okay.
There it is. Tim Walz. Look at...
Okay.
So the amount I can tell you still has to be rather circumspect, but...
Circumspect?
Guys, I have this story...
Is Nick the type of guy who uses, like, top shelf words and has no idea what they mean? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but is that the proper word there? Circumspect?
Guys, I have this story... Circumspect, but...
Here, let's back it up a little bit. 5 more seconds.
Cigarette in my mouth for a few minutes and said, I'll be back. Right? So the amount I can tell you still has to be rather circumspect. But, guys, I have this story of this summer for me is something that when I get to tell it, you're not going to believe it.
Sip.
I don't think. And that's fine. I don't know how to, change that, but maybe will. Maybe there will be enough accompanying documentation or whatever. Some of the stuff...
Here's the thing, Nick. Beat MN Public Records to leaking the documents. Leak them all yourself, and then do the cam footage and say, "Look, you can't. There's nothing else you can leak on me. Eat a cock."
Is in places that may never be disclosable. Not that they just may never be disclosed. They just may never be disclosable for various reasons that go beyond me. But when I ultimately get to tell you the story, I will. Needless to say, a bunch has been said about me, and a bunch of people have said that I have said stuff that I have never, ever uttered in my life. In fact, one of them I'll have to address right away, and this is frustrating for me, is Joshua Moon, the owner of Kiwi.
Okay, here we go. So, it seems like full circle, right? Every time, it always leads to drunk posting about Josh Moon. You were supposed to be my friend, Josh. Josh Moon. Joshua Connor Moon. This is so much. There are so many parallels with Nick Rekieta and Ethan Ralph. I kept a close eye on the Ralph fall from grace. That shit was incredibly interesting to me. Just from an attempted objective point of view, just looking at it from a distance, you couldn't help but see a character in a strange not fame necessarily, but a rise and a fall, in the way that the damn it, Joshua Connor Moon, that it will never cease to get a chuckle out of me randomly in the middle of the day. But yeah, the Nick Rekieta thing is just so wild to me, mostly because of the amount of parallels. It's almost like beat for beat. I'm almost expecting Rekieta to move in with Ralph in the Mexican crack shack, wherever they're at, or wherever he's at. I can see it now, the kill stream featuring Nick Rekieta as the co-host. I mean, hell.
Kiwi Farms. And how do I do this best? How do I do this best?
How do I do this best?
So Joshua
There's
Moon
some
has filed a motion.
Intelligent English.
He's desperately trying to get stuff related to my case, which that doesn't surprise me or make me like that's what Josh is going to do, and that's fine.
I believe it's as simple as this, Nick. Everyone wants to laugh at your house, at the condition of your household. It's just that. That's why everyone wants the body cam footage. That's why everyone is pointing and laughing and saying, we need more. More details, because every detail about this is fucking amusing and mind-blowing. People go, man, there's no way I could fuck up this bad. I just need to see this fuck-up's house. I've all of the details we've been reading about this, I need to see this. Just so I can point and laugh even harder. That's it. He wants things pertaining to my case. Just stop with the fucking walking around and attempted non-practicing lawyer speak. Just say he wants the cam footage so he can laugh at my ass. Just be honest for once in your life, you fucking greasy bastard.
I guess. Whatever. But
Hi,
Josh has
Kitty.
routinely misrepresented things that I have said in this ordeal. And it's frustrating because I don't know. It's annoying when someone misquotes you. It's more annoying when they put it in an affidavit that you've said something that I don't believe I have ever said. And so I had a conversation with Josh the other day, and he went...
All right, so Nick is now saying that there are things in the affidavit that he did not say. Oh man, this fucking guy. So I believe I have a few video clips of him saying some things that he will, in this stream, say he didn't say. Let's see. Oh man, I'm going to have to find them again in a little bit. So we'll just keep watching this stream while I find the link to some of those. Let's allow this man to continue and hand him a little bit more rope, so to speak.
To the forums, and he just said that I said stuff, which I didn't say. It was very weird because, I mean, Josh had the messages, and I figured he'd just, like, if he needed to say something about them, he'd just release them.
See, what I had heard about Rekieta's household is that it's so, like, he's so into BBC that even his carpet has been blacked. I forgot who said that, but I think that has been spot on. All right, let's allow him to continue.
So here's what I'm going to do. I have to do this in a very particular way because I don't...
All right, I think we're going to see the
I want to
DMs
show
now.
you guys,
right?
like,
Sounds about right.
what was said to Josh, because this is important to my cases. I want to show you guys what was actually said to Josh, because it's interesting. He calls me a liar all the time. He says I'm lying to him or gaslighting him or whatever. But then when he went to say what I said on forums, he just posted his own version of it. And I've noticed something about Josh is either he paraphrases things incorrectly or he uses someone else's incorrect paraphrase as if it were true. And I think that's what's been going on with him and me.
Right.
And so I'm just going to show you the messages. So this starts on Saturday,
Let's
August
fucking go.
3rd.
All right, come on now.
He was talking about the body cam footage in my case. And people want me to like sign this release order, or they want me to sign a consent form for the body cam footage in my case, which I'm certainly not going to do at this point in time. And I'm not sure that
I'm
it's
certainly
ever
not
be
going to do.
appropriate.
I don't know if that ever be appropriate. Look, you asshole. The police report talks about how disgusting your house is. Bro, I grew up broke as fuck, and my house never looked like that, okay? I might have had some, like, neglectful parents, but it never got that bad, okay? Dude, yeah, let's let it be reiterated again that Rekieta's kids were starving and in dirty clothes, and they had to beg Nick Rekieta's bull, the dude that was over there just to fuck his wife and do cocaine in their bedroom. Because, of course, I'm jumping ahead. They had to beg him for food and clean clothes. Damn, Father of the Year material right there, bro. And then I've seen the talking point of why didn't the kids just do their own laundry and feed themselves? Well, first of all, their laundry machine and all of that was in the master bedroom. So they would have had to dance around people who were just fucking and zonked out of their minds on coke. You know, how much do you think children should be responsible for? Like, isn't there at some point that you should, at some age, you shouldn't have to put up with people and their dumb bullshit? It's strange to me that people would say, hey, wait, though. I mean, come on. It's just, they're just, you know, having to force them and doing rails of cocaine. Why couldn't the kids just ignore that shit and go do their own laundry? I've heard this argument from a few people. Some of them kind of defending Rekieta. It's insanity. But hey, you got your kids back. Huge W, buddy. Huge W. How does this make all of that non-existent, though? That's my question. The kids are back home. Cool, good. I'm glad they're... hopefully for the best. For the best is what's best for them. All of this internet shit aside, what's best for them is what's best. The question comes, what now comes to mind, is this truly what's best? Or is Rekieta a man with a grudge who really just wants to continue being a father out of spite? Imagine the smell. I'd hate to, man. He looks like he smells like last week. I heard from a comic creator that actually this will be good for the kids. I've heard there's a comic creator that said some dumbass shit, but that'll get me going for a minute. All right, let's continue.
But here you go. And
this
people
greasy
can make all
bastard's
sorts of
got to
arguments
say
or
something
whatever,
interesting,
but,
right?
That's fine. I'm not going to sit and argue with the internet about the propriety of that. You can call me whatever you want. That's okay. But
Baldo.
here's what I am going to do.
That's what people called you, is Baldo. You know, none of this internet shit, if you're going through what he's going through, none of this internet shit should matter at all. Especially if people know you as a sex toy. People just call you the name of a sex toy. Maybe it's time to log off the internet for a little bit.
I'm going to show you guys what I said to Josh because I think it's important. And I think it's really important to show
It
you
is important.
exactly what was said because what Josh said isn't true.
It's not
So here
true.
we go.
It's not true. Holy fuck. Do we have to set up an Ethan Ralph Gunt bingo? I really think that would be a good idea. Man, this thing. Okay, so I got monetized recently, and this thing is trying to make it show an ad like every 10 seconds. It's fucking annoying. I will absolutely just demonetize this shit. I don't want it to show you guys ads. I'm in the middle of talking, damn it. All right. We have to make a bingo card. Baldo. The Baldo bingo. That sounds good, right? And let's see. First word, it's not true. Second one's got to be Josh Connor Moon, right? Josh. We'll just put Josh Moon. And what'll be good for the third one, huh, chat? Ads or Kino? Yikes. Man, I will start probably demonetizing it if they start handing you guys ads like every 5 minutes. That's annoying. What else? What else do we got? On drugs. Next one will be drunk. How about red? I mean, that's probably the free square, right? Looks greasy. Names Kiwi Farms. Mentions the cover. God damn, that's still sounds so stupid to me. I got a Harris ad before my stream. Oh man, that's delicious. Maybe we'll keep maybe we'll keep these ads after all, huh? Mentions cover. Kino Casino. There we go. We'll have Kino Casino as one of the squares. What else? What else, you guys? And how about my kids? Of course, my kids. It's got to be one of those. We've got a few more squares here, chat. Any ideas? Any ideas? Licks bottle. Well, let's be real. Now that he's gotten grilled for licking the bottle, he hasn't been doing it. So, McCourts. How about just Rights? There we go. And we have 5 more left here. Let's see, chat. Talks to himself. That could be a good one. Ceiling cats. There's a good one. Ceiling cats. We got 4 more. Unintelligible. Yeah, there we go. How about mentioned? We'll just put Barnes, right? Barnes. Joke doesn't land. And the last one. What should we put this last one? Corner Demon. Sonichu. So we have Ceiling Cat, but Corner Demon specific, right? We'll go with those. We'll go with a theme of Christmas. How does that look? Baldo Bingo. There we go. Ah, that's delicious. Okay. We're almost there, chat. I apologize for the delay, but we should be good.
You can read this. So this is Saturday, August 3rd, 9:53 p.m. I said, hey, retard. Discovery is under protective order in the case. Me releasing it is a violation of that order. It's in the document you already have on your site, Learn to Read, which is the order that was leaked a long time ago, mentioned specifically that Discovery is under protective order in the case. So suggesting I should do anything to affirmatively move the needle on releasing it risks me violating a court order. Try reading. So again, really quickly, people on the farms or wherever want me to sign a consent form to release body cam footage that is part of both my criminal case and my civil case.
Hold on, chat.
But there's a protective order on Discovery, and the civil case has since been sealed as well. Releasing
feels like there should have been a
or
bottle
moving
lick.
to release that or making any step for it risks me violating a court order. Now, you may argue, well, that's not violating a court order. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, when the government has you by the balls, and by the balls, I mean your literal offspring, you don't do anything to risk violating a court order. But it gets farther than that.
I don't know, man. Did you
It goes farther
literally
than
accuse a
that, and we're gonna
CPS
get to
worker
that as
of
well, because
perjury?
this is an amazing thing that Josh's myopia forces him to overlook the reality that people are in the thirst for more and more infos or whatever.
Okay, so we had a names Kiwi Farms. That was definitely on there. How about we make it green? There we go. Let's replace it. Ah, that was more difficult than it should have been. What else we have here, chat? We got it's not true. I'm pretty sure we already had it. It's not true. So we'll go ahead and mark that one. We had a Josh Moon. That one, damn, we already have bingo. We already have a bingo. But let's just proceed anyway, right? Because it would be not so fun if we'd already called it a bingo. All right.
So, Josh, I found this curious. He says, we're not asking you to release it. This is funny because Kiwi Farms is not a monolith. I've said it a million times, but apparently they are now acting in concert, according to Josh.
That's right. He did mention my kids.
He's speaking on behalf of everyone now, I guess. We're not asking you to release it. We're asking you to grant the government permission to release it. There is no issue with you signing a letter of consent. Well, there are issues. We'll talk about them in a minute. Your body cam footage is also discovery in your criminal charge. Great. It doesn't matter. If they're in both and one of them's under protective order, I'm certainly not fucking coming close to violating an order. It is part of the Chips case's discovery, but it's a part of the state's case in the criminal one.
Blackout calling
Josh,
it.
That's great.
And you're not just referring to bingo, right?
When did Kiwi Farms become we? Josh? When was that? When was Kiwi Farms a we? Does anybody, I've heard Josh say a million times that Kiwi Farms is just a website that people come to. It's not a collection of people acting in concert. It's anybody goes there and just gossips. But now it's we. That's very fun.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I think I know who we is. We is the people, or we are, however, we means the people who are trying to get the footage. But I think Nick in his brain is thinking, oh, you mean the collective as the whole website as a collective? I'm pretty sure he just means the people who are interested in the footage, but we'll continue. We'll let this man continue to ramble on here.
To me, like, because it's such a different Josh than
and I hate to cut it off again, but I believe yesterday or last night I was saying, man, because he has a big head, he's feeling smug, like he's got a big W on everybody, he's going to do something really fucking stupid, and it's going to be very funny. It might not be this. It could just be this. But there might be something even better coming. Just wait, chat. I can sense it on the horizon. Like some, like the weather, right?
I remember. So then he has a question mark, because he doesn't get that he's just said we a whole lot. And so I go on. No one is asking me anything, and you're specifically ignoring just how monstrous of a machine court is. I tell you there's a protective order on discovery in a case where the government is concerned about the safety of children, and you want me to sign a release to show Kiwi Farms information about where those children live so it can be paraded in front of a group of infamous hawkers. Now, that was my phone correcting gawkers to hawkers, but infamous gawkers. So you don't even listen to yourself and how absurd of a request that is. So then I have in quotes is a hypothetical, like a joke. It's a hyperbolic joke of what the judge would say to me if signing that consent form. Reminder that the state has your kids and they're like, well, we have concerns about parenting or whatever. And you're like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign a release form so that these weirdos on the internet can just see where my kids live. Like, that sounds good. Right? Right? Right, fellow parents? just go around. I want you all to go around to any parents, be like, hey, you have kids. Would you sign a release form to let the internet, like people on a website called Kiwi Farms, see your kids' bedrooms? Like, would you just sign a release form for that? Well, I mean, it was a police action, so you should sign a release form for that, right? That would be an insane proposition to most people, I would think, but maybe not to Josh. Like, I guess he doesn't think that way, and that's fine. Like, again,
I think the point is that you said, Nick, that your house was in great condition and the police report was lying and blah 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 blah, and you could prove everybody wrong by doing the best in your ability, maybe just signing an affidavit or however they go about doing these things, and showing everybody that they were all wrong and that you in fact live in a great household. Everyone will be completely blown the fuck out. Now, I understand the argument of, well, I don't want people to see the inside of my house. Like, fuck off. That'd be a good way of going about it, Nick. You could just say, fuck off. It's my house. I don't want to show anybody shit. You could just say it like that. But the argument was made pretty early on that everybody is making up a bunch of shit and that none of it's not true, right? But if that was the case, why would this be mentioned in the police report, in the CPS report? You could prove everybody wrong by just signing to have your consent to have the footage released. I mean, what
out of the home where your children sleep with an anonymous web board that I'm reading has driven people to suicide through ridicule. Now, I've said over and over, I don't think Kiwi Farms is responsible for the suicides, but that's the news bite that an uninformed judge would be like looking into, because it comes up every time. Only in every case is Kiwi Farms accused of having people commit suicide. I've defended this over and over and over again, so please don't come at me with your gayness. But that's what's going to be the mantra, because it's the mantra every time it comes up. So then, why, Mr. Rekieta, did you think sharing that information was a positive step for the safety of your children? And then, of course, here's my response. Sorry, Your Honor, an illustrated dog who fled the U.S. because of reasons.
My condolences,
army of
bro.
avatars
My
to say the N-word a lot
condolences.
asked me to. The absurdity of a parent signing a consent form for people to get more information about their children and give it to the Kiwi Farms people
There we go.
is like they don't even recognize like how that looks. And again, under normal circumstances, that looks insane. But when the state is
I have to interrupt. I did find a button in OBS that delays ads for 10 minutes. So that's how I'll deal with it for this stream. But in the future, I'm just not going to monetize it. I don't want you guys to have to sit through ads while we're in the middle of something. When there's momentum, as a viewer, I would find that annoying.
looking at you going, we need to make sure you're a fit parent and before we can return your kids. Be like, hold on, let me sign this release form. Here, I want these other people to look at my house first and get the layout of it down. You know, see that stuff. That'd be good, right? Like that'd be responsible parenting. No, it never would. But I'm just trying to help him out.
Again,
so
for me, it would just be as simple as, no, you guys could kiss my ass. I ain't showing you shit. Now that you mention it, it does look like Law and Order bingo. Or, yeah, Law and Order font.
Said, Josh, sometimes your quest to make other people look retarded makes you unable to see how retarded you are. This isn't a joke for me. And despite your gaggle of happy faggots, super good deductive reasoning, they've got it wrong. That's why my kids will be home soon. Now, granted, I said this on the 3rd. I was under the impression that my kids would be coming back on the 11th.
Just look at how
But
much
instead they came
blue
back on the
there
7th.
is.
Now, a lot of people...
Like, look at how much text there is from him to Nick, or from him to Josh. When I get a paragraph of stuff to read like that, I can't say I read every fucking word. Just, brevity is the soul of wit, my man. Don't expect me to read through all of that. You've got like 3 sentences out of me.
on the farms, etc., have said that my kids were like never coming back or be an extremely long time, etc., etc., etc. Well, now they're coming back. They're like, oh, we always said they'd come back. Well, yeah, sure. That's fine. You guys had no way to know. I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you guys that you had no way to know. And I tried to explain the Minnesota law that specifically said why you wouldn't be able to know and that it wasn't even your fault. I'm like, yeah, these long-term case plans or whatever that you see,
I don't know what the
those
fuck
are
he's
not
talking about.
actually dictating the flow of the case. They're required by
I'm pretty
statute
sure he
as parallel
didn't.
planning to what's going on. But there's other shit going on that you guys don't know about, and I can't tell you. No one else can know. So when you saw these people like commenting, oh, this is what's actually happening, Nick's a liar. No, I was just telling you exactly what was happening, but I couldn't give you details about negotiations that were going on, about everything working on the parallel track that you don't get to know about. So I'm sorry, but I tried.
I
tried
tried,
to tell
guys. Oh, he tried to tell us.
But okay. So anyway, I knew when my kids were coming home because I'm the one who's been doing it. A lot of these people out there still think that Lady Raggets and I were not submitting to drug tests or that we had some way figured out how to plan the drug tests on our own or something. No, none of that's true. We've been complying with drug tests ever since the court asked us to do drug tests. The moment the court said, I need you to do drug tests, we're like, all right, cool. Now, we didn't do a whole shitload of drug tests beforehand. You know why? Because they didn't ask us to. I don't know what else to tell you. People are making big deals out of stuff that they've made up in their minds. And when I try...
Bro, okay. Is it a big deal, chat, that his 8-year-old daughter turned up positive for cocaine? At, what was it? Is it 5 times the legal limit or 10 times? I can't remember. But is that just a big deal? People just making up reasons to be outraged and upset? I mean, this dude is being so fucking disingenuous. You think he's gonna get talk about getting tatted with April? Man, that was that was some cringy shit. You'd think you'd have something better to do with your time, like I don't know, you had some extra time to clean your house, so you wouldn't have to call your fucking dad to come clean your house for you. As an adult, that still blows my mind. I would be the type of person to clean my house for my parents coming over. So they come over and be like, hey, Dad, I hope you like the pad. How's it looking? You know, you don't ask that, but it's on the table. You kind of want to show that you're doing well for yourself because he's your father, right? Not, all right, Dad, I'm going to go get a tattoo with my fucking human fleshlight and our wife. Make sure dinner's on the table when I get back, you fucking old bastard. Anyway.
Correct it and say, no, actually, we've been completely clean on all of our drug tests. You're like, the first drug test I submitted, yes, I tested positive for alcohol. That's because I wasn't ordered to not drink alcohol yet. That's it. Then on the 7th of June, the judge said, no controlled substances, including alcohol. Although that's not in my written order. Played it safe. No controlled substances, including alcohol, and you submit to random testing. We were like, all right, cool. Of course. There you go. Done. Our first drug test was voluntary. We brought it to court because we had a hearing. Anyway, long story short, that's how that went. But people still believe that there's a different story out there. That it's like, no. Nick must not be doing this. Nick must not be doing this. Nick must not. Guys, come on.
Dude,
Like,
I literally saw the report. I'm sure a lot of you guys did. I saw in the court documents where they're talking about the child turning up positive. Sorry, I had to. It was trying, even though it says the ads are delayed for 10 minutes, it tried to play another one. It's like an entire new thing to juggle. Lovely.
I know that this is the internet and everything's fucking ridiculous, but it's not that ridiculous. Some people are. And some people.
I don't know. Your child turning up positive for fucking cocaine is pretty ridiculous, isn't it? So we have these DMs, and since he's not going to read them, we'll just read them ourselves. He says, Nick to Josh, "Hey, retard, Discovery is under protective order in the case. Pardon me. Me releasing it is a violation of that order. It's in a document you already have on your site, Learn to Read, suggesting I should do anything to affirmatively remove the needle on releasing it risks me violating a court order. Try reading. We're not asking you to release it," Josh says. "We're asking you to grant the government permission to release it. There is no issue with you signing a letter of consent. Your body cam footage is also discovery of your criminal charge. It is part of the Chips case discovery, but it's part of the state's case in the criminal one." And he just responds with "we" in quotes. He's a huge fan of Sigmund Freud, right? Yeah, when I heard that that daughter had been referred to as his favorite, unfortunately, my imagination, I guess you could say, my reasoning maybe, started going in directions that I care not to vocalize. Absolutely horrific. Josh responds with a question mark. And then we have a lot of stuff to read. Let's go. "No one is asking me anything, and you're specifically ignoring how monstrous of a machine court is. I tell you there's a protective order on Discovery in a case where the government is concerned about the safety of children, and you want me to sign a release to show Kiwi Farms information about where those children live so it can be paraded in front of a group of infamous gawkers. You don't even listen to yourself on how absurd of a request that is. Mr. Rekieta, did you sign a release also fuck. Getting a bit tongue-tied there. Release authorizing the state to share body cam footage with your layout of the home and where your children sleep with an anonymous web board that I'm reading has driven people to suicide through ridicule. Why, Mr. Rekieta, did you think sharing that information was a positive step for the safety of your children? Sorry, Your Honor. An illustrated dog who fled the U.S. because of reasons, and his army of lolly avatars who say the N-word a lot asked me to. Josh, sometimes your quest to make other people look retarded makes you unable to see how retarded you are. This isn't a joke for me, and despite your gaggle of happy F slurs, super good deductive reasoning, they've got it wrong. That's why my kids will be home soon. Consenting to the release of that footage would be one of the most irresponsible things a parent could do. The fact that you don't see that should indicate that you are terminally connected to the internet and disconnected from reality. Peace. Then have April consent. You are the one who said the footage would exonerate you. You are the one who petitioned the court to seal discovery. Insinuating everyone you don't like is a pedophile is an ugly and ineffective tactic. I'll remind you, it was your cocaine and your child testing positive for cocaine who put you in this situation. I and my forum do not share responsibility. He responds epically. You're the king of insulting people. You're the king of insinuating people are pedophiles. I didn't insinuate anything. Are you having a retardication? Because I said lolly avatars? Also, like normal, your paraphrase of what I said is not precise. Peace, Josh. I hope you and your pedophiles have a good day. Josh responds, you are not as smart as you think you know. You are not as smart as you think you are. Nick says, oh no, and then was left on red for about 2.5 hours. By the way, very curious where you think I allege police planted anything. You put in a motion supported by affidavit. Or you put it in a motion supported by affidavit. Are you sure you didn't just paraphrase something incorrectly and assume what I meant? Or maybe you misread a retarded summary from a forum post. Who knows? You literally said that Alicia Sweep, by name, lied under oath. I think it's this one right here. Let me check on the audio. This is from this stream, I believe, but...
I said, Alicia Sweep lied, stating that I prevented her from accessing the bedroom and closing the door. That was a lie under oath. That was a lie under oath. A CPS worker named Alicia Sweep in Candy, Ojai County, Minnesota, lied under oath in the case against me.
All right. If you want to point out a specific paragraph in the affidavit, you have an issue with you. You have an issue. Fuck. If you want to point out a specific paragraph in the affidavit you have an issue with, you can, but you're very obvious about what you're doing. Everything I said in the affidavit was true to the best of my knowledge and ability. Nick epically responds, she did. That was not during a warrant execution. I'm just trying to tell you that I have not alleged police planting anything. You misunderstood or read someone's summary who misunderstood. All right, so that's the end of that one. There we go. Oh God, here we are. Here we go. I may have suggested multiple times over the years that no one should consent to a search because you don't know if police will even inadvertently plant something or place something. But I have made public no accusations regarding the planting of evidence. Maybe someone misinterpreted my explanation that police have to prove that I possessed what they alleged, and there are facts which make this issue complicated. Alicia Sweep lied, stating that I prevented her from accessing the bedroom and closing the door. That was a lie under oath. As I said, the downside of the system is that there was no way to counter that she was lying without testifying. Testifying would have been a bad move at the time. So, in the documents, what she says is that she allowed her to go through the house, but when she got to the master bedroom, she had been told, "You do not need to come in here," and then the door was closed. Look, mate, you're a pathological liar and you are blatantly engaged in manipulation against everyone you talk to at all times for no apparent or no good reason possible. Nothing you tell me will ever be taken at face value, and in this instance, it's just another obvious lie that makes me roll my eyes. I know you think it is very, very clever to continuously imply things so you can backtrack what you said immediately, like the time that you were talking to some blonde woman basically said the government plants evidence all the time. When she directly asked to confirm if you were saying that happened in your case, which was an obvious follow-up because it was plain that you were implying that, you backtracked it immediately. You do this continuously. You insinuate through gritted teeth that, and then it cuts off, but it's probably a little bit more of that. I'm not one of your children. You cannot lie to me. Josh, the hardest thing for you to realize one day is that I don't. Please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. Dude, I've heard this person several times bold-faced lie. So find one time where I lied about something. Okay, buddy. I will. I intend to compile a list of every time that you implied that someone from the police department did something wrong to you. You've been doing it since your first stream out of jail. I'm going to have to do this anyways because it's the only way to justify getting the body cam footage released without your consent, and you've got April locked down. And don't even try that. You've been lying about who you were and what you stand for since the first time you cut on a fucking camera. I love that Nick's response is, nope. Nope. Buddy. Okay, yeah, it doesn't let me scroll down to show you the other two. Other people project onto me. That's not my fault. That being said, I wish you well in your endeavors and in regards to finding those accusations. Thanks. Josh, are you lying intentionally or just chronically imprecise? And we have some more text between the two. Null posts to Twitter, to Kiwi Farms. King Baldo has again reached out through a system of ropes and pulleys to declare the following: that he has never said the police did anything wrong during the execution of the search warrant on his premises, and he both dares me and wishes me luck in finding evidence to the contrary to support a petition to the Candiahoe County Sheriff's Department. This is not what I said, he says. I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah, that being said, I wish you well in your endeavors in regards to fighting those accusations. Well, that's basically what he said, man. Anyway. Oh no, by the way, very curious where you think I allege police planted anything. You put in the motion supported by affidavit. Yeah, okay, so it's more copy and paste of what we have already read. Can you give me a quote then, Josh asks. Nick responds, I also never dared you to do anything. And Josh responds here with a screenshot. Please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. And then question mark. And then another wall of text. I'm literally asking. I'm not taunting or daring you. Okay. More word games from Nick. Good to see you guys too. I know what I didn't say. If I messed up somewhere and alleged that, I would want to know. We both have an interest in that allegation. Look, man, I've literally only ever contacted you for your own information. You have suggested multiple times that I'm demanding a retraction or correction, I always tell you no. Trying to convince me someone else... Excuse me. Trying to convince someone else to correct the record for an internet audience is nonsensical, says Nick. Okay, so we already read through this one. Okay, I believe that's the last one. So from here, let's continue to watch Nick a little bit.
Get like liar tattooed on their cheekbone or whatever, which I thought was bold. But some people on the internet do have like real lives that they get a little over sensationalized, which I've told you guys a lot. A lot of my life is way
Oh yeah, we
over
definitely have
sensationalized,
read.
and it's funny for a while until it's not, until it has real world impact. And this has had real world impact, and the jokes had to stop. But getting back to this thing, I knew my kids would be coming home soon. I knew actually the exact date, and again, someday I'll get to tell the story of how this played out, because how it played out should terrify you.
Oh, my government.
Yeah, I know. You're not me. It should terrify you.
My government. Yeah, okay, we already got that one.
In this county, my case went fast. That should terrify you. That this was fast, considering the absolute dearth of evidence and accusations that they had. I know the internet has made a ton of accusations. Guys, the county doesn't accuse me of any of the stuff that you do.
Bro, in your court documents, let's see here. This poster here, MN Public Records, was nice enough to illuminate to the world, across the whole World Wide Web, that in, again, the court documents, that his 8-year-old daughter, who is now 9, tested positive for cocaine at 10 times the threshold, the cutoff, where the drug test can no longer pick it up. So we had a new release, a new interesting new matter of public record. But I don't want to jump into that just yet. I feel like it's the main course. I'm not quite ready to dig into the steak, you know?
Which is why the kids are back home. So in light of this went fast. That should bother you. That should
right.
worry you to your core if you're a parent.
I'm going to step away for just a second. I will be right back, but I'm going
here we
to
go.
mute
Don't worry,
my
there's
mic
more
and
of
let
this
this
conversation
asshat
coming. I'm not going to
continue
just cut
to
it off
speak.
here. And I'll make sure and include this so that you know I'm not leaving something out. Consenting to the release of that footage would be one of the most irresponsible things a parent could do. The fact that you don't see that should indicate that you are terminally... Dun, 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 dun. Just a second. Just a second. Here. New one here. Whee. All right. The fact that you don't see that should indicate that you're terminally connected to the internet and disconnected from reality. Peace. Which people like try to psychoanalyze peace. Guys, I've used peace as a send-off forever. So then Josh responds to me an hour later and he's like, he said peace. Why did he respond? I'm like, Josh, you sent a message back. I returned your message. Anyway, so he says, then have April consent. So like instead of me consenting, I'm supposed to have someone else consent by proxy to get around. Listen to what Josh is suggesting. I'm saying, hey, Josh, me doing this would violate like a court order. He says, have someone else do it by proxy. That won't violate the order. Josh, listen to yourself, man. Homie, listen to yourself. I don't want to violate a court order. So you're suggesting I have someone else do it for me? That doesn't make it okay to do. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'll have, because I have control over her, apparently. Like, what should I like use my puppet strings, or should I intimidate her? Like, what is your proposition here? Just have her do it, then it's not you. Fucking insane. But okay. No, Josh, very reasonable. Then have April consent. You are the one who said the footage would exonerate you. I didn't actually say the footage would exonerate me. I believe, it's a little fuzzy, I believe I said that there are things in the footage that may help my case. They may actually be things that break the case. I don't know.
There's this dude's such a weasel. This dude really overestimates his own intelligence, man. Like, you come across this in your real life pretty often. I know a few people who are like this, that they think that they're geniuses, but everyone can see through the facade really, really easily. He's one of those people. All right. Let's continue.
Especially at the time I had said it, I had not seen the footage. I still haven't seen all of the footage. There's a shitload of it. But this is one of those things where Josh takes something I said and he paraphrases it into a direct statement or accusation or whatever, but it isn't true.
It's
and
not
the only reason
true.
I'm showing these messages is because he's done this multiple times now. And then people believe him.
He's got to
he's
get
credible.
He has to get.
And I'm not. Well, I'm showing you the messages because the credibility here is.
He's got to get the Josh Moon, Ralph Amale hat, the one that says Josh is a kid diddler in big bold letters. Ralph giving the thumbs up with that hat on is still one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. All right.
Critical. Josh has put in an affidavit that I have said things about the search of my house that I haven't said. He put it in an affidavit to the court, trying to convince the court of something, but I didn't say those things.
Dude, you literally said it. Okay.
I think it was either him reading someone else's misinterpretation or he just made a mistake. I don't think it's malicious, to be very clear. I don't think Josh is malicious in any of this. I think he's myopic.
I feel like it would be redundant, but most of us have seen like streams of other people or just seen the documents themselves, right? Where Alicia Sweep, under oath, says the shit that this now Nick's saying didn't happen. Like, dude, I've seen the court documents. You're full of shit.
I think he's thirsty for the information, and that overrides basic reasoning. But I don't think he's maliciously doing it. But here we go. He says, you are the one who petitioned the court to seal discovery. Not true, actually. I didn't petition the court to seal discovery. The protective order on discovery in my civil case was proposed, guess what, by the county attorney. And my lawyer and Lady Rackets' lawyer independently agreed to it. It's in the transcript on your site. If you just read it, it's right there. They did it in court. And it's also in the order. So again, you normally would have no way of knowing this.
Nick,
now you actually have a way of knowing this.
Firing up this stream and having the huge update in my case then would be a great time to pull up the documents and go, see, it doesn't show this. We'll just go through them and it'll show that I'm right. But you'll notice he hasn't brought up any of those documents on his stream. Like, he's completely full of shit.
You just didn't take the time to know it, which is fine, except now you're accusing me of doing this stuff. No. Anyway, insinuating everyone you don't like is a pedophile is an ugly and ineffective tactic. Well, Josh, funny thing, I didn't insinuate anybody that I'm not liking is a pedophile here.
You fucking did!
But Josh does this all the time.
Where are we at? Let's look for it, right? Here's Nick talking to Josh as his justification for, not allowing not signing an affidavit with his consent for the release. Mr. Rekieta, did you sign a release authorizing the state to share body cam footage with the layout of your home where your children sleep with an anonymous web board that I'm reading has driven people to suicide through ridicule? Why, Mr. Rekieta, did you think sharing that information was a positive step for the safety of your children? Sorry, Your Honor, an illustrated dog who has fled the U.S. because of reasons, and his army of lolly avatars who say the N-word a lot asked me to. Army of lolly avatars. Nick, that's exactly what you're implying. You absolute mongoloid.
Go through the list of people that Josh used to like and who he doesn't like now, and look at how many of them he has called a pedophile. It's one of the most common words in his dictionary. This is an amazing case of projection from Josh. But notice in this conversation, I didn't call anyone a pedophile. Josh.
Right here, army of lolly avatars who, I mean, again, Nick, you're not good with your wordplay, buddy.
Did.
Oh, that's right. Isn't he being sued for calling people or calling someone a pedophile? He's literally being sued for defamation for this exact thing.
Josh called somebody pedophiles here, tried to make me do it, but I didn't do it. I said army of lolly avatars. Yeah, but I didn't call them pedophiles, Josh. You just have a bunch. There's just a bunch of lolly avatars. I also said you were an illustrated dog. Like it was just it's a pithy joke. Get over it. But insinuating everyone you don't like is a pedophile is an ugly and ineffective tactic. Well, Josh, maybe you should have a helping of that sandwich. He says, I'll remind you, it was your cocaine and your child testing positive for cocaine to put you in this situation. Those are Joshua Moon's words. I haven't made any comment about this. I'm only...
You haven't... Oh, convenient, chat. How convenient. Oh, I haven't made it. For the record, I haven't commented on my child turning up positive for cocaine. I bet you fucking haven't. Oh, I'm eager, chat, to hear his dumbass fucking cope. That's the thing. No matter how big of a W Rekieta ever gets, there's no for his public image, which matters. It's priceless to him, right? There's no recovery for his public image. There's no W big enough to undo the L that he has brought home to his family. All right, let's let it continue.
reading them for completeness. And I'm not going to make any comment about that now. I have a pending criminal matter.
Let's go ahead and rewind. I can't help it. Child testing positive for cocaine. Why won't you comment about that, Nick? That's a weird thing to say you're not going to comment on.
Helping of that sandwich. He says, I'll remind you, it was your cocaine and your child testing positive for cocaine to put you in this situation. Those are Joshua Moon's words. I haven't made any comment about this. I'm only reading them for completeness. And I'm not going to make any comment about that now. I have a pending criminal matter. He says, I and my forum do not share responsibility. It's my forum. It's mine. Josh speaking on behalf of the forums again. Well, that's just rich. It's good. Josh, I'm glad you're finally coming around to this, because for years you denied all of this. Like you were not acting on behalf of the forum. You're acting on behalf of you, and the people do it themselves, but I guess it's collective now. So then I said, you're the king of insinuating people are pedophiles. I didn't insinuate anything. I said, are you having a retard action? Because I said lolly avatars. That also, like normal, your paraphrase of what I said is not precise. I said, peace, Josh. I hope you and your pedophiles have a good day. Josh called them pedophiles. I didn't. But I'll go with the moniker. That's on him. So then he says, you are not as smart as you think you are. And I said, oh, no. That's fine. I hope I'm not as smart as I think I am.
So I love that insult was the one that made him come back to the conversation a little bit later. Like, he's 2.5 hours later. Oh, and by the way, I thought of what... I wonder if he sat there for that whole 2.5 hours with his phone in his hand going, I got to figure out the proper way to really blow this guy the fuck out. Maybe he was in the shower that entire time too. Fuck.
So then, today at 1:03 p.m., I said, by the way, very curious where you think I alleged police planted anything. And this is getting into the meat of the matter. Because I noticed that Josh said that I said this, but I didn't say that.
You heavily implied
have specifically avoided saying that.
All right.
I haven't said it at
I'm
all.
going to let him play.
When people insinuated that I meant it.
But I'm going to try to
I
start
didn't say
finding
that.
some of these clips. It'll take me a second.
I have clearly not, I've specifically not said this. If I'm wrong, please, somebody let me know. Because I'm pretty sure I've never actually said this. And I haven't seen anybody find it yet. I said, you put it in a motion supported by affidavit. Are you sure? You didn't just paraphrase something incorrectly and assume what I meant.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Or maybe you misread a retarded summary from a forum post. Who knows? So Josh said, you literally said that Alicia Sweep by name lied under oath. Yes. Yes, I did. And that did happen. It was not during the search, however. But Alicia Sweep did lie under oath. In fact, when we left the court hearing, I walked right up to her and I said, you lied under oath and you know it. I walked right up to her. I pointed at her. I said it to her face. I will say it every single day. Alicia Sweep lied under oath in Candy, Ojai County. 100% she did that. I also said the problem with all of this.
Okay, well, there it is.
When there is no other witness than you and the government agent, you have two options. You have to live with the lie because no one's punishing her, or you have to testify. And testifying to counter the lie does two things. One, it pits your credibility against the government worker. Now, the government worker who works with the CPS investigator all the time, or the judge who works with the CPS investigator all the time and doesn't know you at all, where do you think that credibility default is going to go? Towards the CPS investigator. So I would have to go take the stand and say, no, Alicia Sweep lied about this thing. That didn't happen. And then I would similarly be opening myself up to cross-examination when I have a pending criminal matter. You just have to eat.
See, they'll ask me questions. Oh, no. All right, it'll be a second here. I do have a couple of videos. I think these are the right ones. If not, I'll have to allow him to speak a little more insufferably while I go look for the clips. But let's continue here.
Shit sometimes.
And
I mentioned this with less specificity, but that's the way the system
he's still
works.
at 1.25
Sometimes
speed.
You don't have the opportunity to call out a lie. Lies go by in court all day. I pray you're never in a position where those lies impact your children. I really do. Because it fucking sucks, man. You're powerless. You have to sit there. By the way, you can't, like, your lawyer can't object. She lied.
Yeah, it's because...
How do you show they lied? Well, you either have to get a witness up there.
It's because you're not representing yourself, and yelling objection is disrespectful in the eyes of the court. As far as I understand things, I'm going to take this off the screen for a second because I have something that we could take a look at. I believe some of these clips featured in this video should illuminate us a little bit more. Hope you're all doing well. This is Rage Pig 101. Yeah, dude, he was taking notes during the year of the Alpha Male. He's like, all right, hold my beer. I can do better than this. Hold my maker's mark, Ralph. All right.
Critical says Nick's wife belongs to the internet. We are collectively the virtual Matt from Tinder. I'll tell the internet very clearly and very quickly. One, to the internet, you can't afford Lady Raggeds, and two, you cannot keep her entertained. Sorry.
What if we have a gram of Coke?
Many people of you.
Many
don't even have a fucking chance.
Many people of us. Nice.
I barely can. You guys don't have a fucking prayer. Good luck.
But what we can't ignore, right now, is the fact that Nick's clean. Nick's required to take tests. Look, Nick is like hyper honest with me because we're boys.
I love it.
He has told me that he has not had a drop of alcohol. He doesn't intend to.
We saw this last night.
There's parameters around everything he's going through right now.
This white powdery substance through his nasal cavity while off camera. This is reading like a joke the more you read through it. Your affiant knows. He believes that he snorted it through the nose.
I'll quote a wise statement from our locals chat. That's the real smart people, folks. The bogus warrant by corrupt cop signed off by vengeful judge.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, of a vulnerable target who talks about his improper behavior loudly and vocally and misbehaves on the internet. So it makes him an easy target.
And who's the biggest political critic of the local corruption in that small town.
But as far as for me, like they, well, I gave a statement willingly because I wanted to call the cop a pussy a whole bunch. Sorry, I'm kind of an asshole.
You did call the cop a pussy?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd like that.
Believe me, that wasn't going to get me in any worse issue than I was in at the time. So it was like, I said, where's your probable cause statement for the warrant? Like they showed me the warrant, which just says they have the warrant to search your house. And I was like, yeah, based on what? And I said, I know your probable cause. Bullshit. So show it to me. He's like, oh, no, I got it. I got this probable cause. And I'm serious. This is how I was acting. It was funny. He's like, I got your probable cause. I was like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Like,
while Nick Rekieta is giving his tough guy recollection of how it went down, it's mentioned in the one of the police reports that when he was handed the warrant, he got angry and crumpled it up and threw it on the ground like an angry child. It's funny how he didn't mention that detail.
you know it's bullshit. So that was fun, having a nice exchange with another citizen.
Deadpool says, you know why it doesn't matter if my home is searched? I don't use drugs, and there's none in my house.
You know what's interesting is that you may not know what's in your house.
Woohoo! That's why you gotta do a spring cleaning.
You may not know what cops bring into your house either.
You think cops brought stuff into your house?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
The guy just fucking lied about what I said. He lied about what I said in his affidavit that he filed with the court. And then when I'm like, hey, dude, I didn't say that. He's like, haha, you did. It's like, where? I'd say egg on your face, but you'd eat it.
Sorry, Kiwi bros. Life doesn't always turn out the way you hope it does, or you say it does. I wish I had a bag of Doritos so I could smugly eat a single chip at you right now.
There, or you have to have a recording.
Yeah, we're going through the Rekieta DM leak between him and Null. So far we're about an hour in. I don't know that we'll go through the entire stream, but I couldn't help but go, all right, yep, I called it last night. He's gonna have a huge swollen ego, and we'll have something very soon to laugh at. And wouldn't you know, it was the very next day.
The recording has to be introduced by a witness. They have to be cross-examined. Sometimes you just have to eat shit. Anyway. So, here we go. 100%. So here we go. He says, if you want to point out a specific paragraph in the affidavit you have an issue with, you can, but you're very obvious about what you're doing. Obvious. Josh, I don't know where you think I said this, but I didn't say it. And he's done this before to me. Josh will do this when I talk to him. He'll say, what do you want me to redact or retract or change or make a statement on? I say, Josh, I don't want you to make a statement about anything. I don't want you to delete anything. I don't want you to censor anything. And then he'll say, Nick tried to get me to censor something, or Nick tried to get me to change something. No, literally never done that. It's amazing.
He did the what do you call it? He was doing it in this DM exchange that we've been reading, where he's implying that he wants you to do something, but then backtracks. Like, oh no, I didn't say that. Well, you were heavily implying it. I think in the Dear Sean stream, where he's just yelling at potentially criminal, I think is the guy's YouTube channel. He's going on and off about, I never said any of this. I just wanted him to know as my friend that this wasn't true. But he was very heavily implying that, well, none of this, wink, wink, none of this is true. Which happens to the fella quite often, from what I understand. But anyway, let's just jump right back into this. Nick Rekieta at 1.25 speed really feels like any human being at 1.1 speed. Let's see if 1.5 is too fast.
How many times he has personally accused me of that when I do something like this? I'm saying, dude, you're saying something that's not true. Well, do you want me to change it? No. I'm just letting you know it's not right. That's literally it. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. So here he goes. Everything I've said in the affidavit was true to the best of my knowledge and ability. Yeah, that's fine, but your knowledge and ability are lacking. Sorry, Josh. So then we go back to me. Responding to his Alicia Sweet thing. I said, she did. That was not during the warrant execution. It wasn't. It was after. I said, I'm just trying to tell you that I've not
no
alleged
body
at least
cam
planted anything,
yet,
which I have not.
unfortunately.
You misunderstood or read someone's summary who misunderstood. All right, give me a second. We'll go on. Sorry to do this way. It's the only way.
Now, real quick. Look how sweaty this fucking dude is. Oh man, it has 1080p as an option. Look at this greasy bastard. You know, maybe that's why the kids weren't getting showers. This dude wasn't even showering himself.
It's the only way to fucking do this.
How long have you
When you're
been
accused of being
streaming?
dishonest, and the person accusing you
Okay, I thought he was having difficulty
incorrectly says what he
there.
said, it's a little frustrating. Here we go. I said, you misunderstood or read someone's summary who misunderstood. I may have suggested multiple times over the years that no one should consent to a search because you don't know if police will even inadvertently place something. So, but I've made no public accusations regarding the planting of evidence. So maybe someone misinterpreted my explanation that police have to prove that I possessed what they alleged, and there are facts which make this issue complicated. There are. I said, Alicia Sweep lied, stating that I prevented her from accessing the bedroom and closing the door. That was a lie under oath. That was a lie under oath. A CPS worker named Alicia Sweep in Candy, Ohio County, Minnesota, lied under oath in the case against me.
You know, SMG, he might have. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember if I had seen it in a video or read it somewhere.
There's no way around it. That happened.
Oh, that's
As
right,
I
should
stated,
read
the downside of the system is that there was no
or
way to counter the lie without testifying.
bingo
Testifying
card.
would have been a bad move at the time. Very true. Very true. So Josh responds, look, mate. It's Australian now, apparently. You're a pathological liar. Oh, Josh. And you are blatantly engaged in manipulation against everyone you talk to at all times for no apparent or good reason possible. And let me just go ahead and say this. If someone is accused of always manipulating people for no reason, I'll humbly suggest they're not actually manipulating people. I mean, you can believe whatever.
How does that make any fucking sense? Let's rewind that a little bit. He likes the smell of bleach and pee. Well, apparently he doesn't keep bleach in his house because it's dangerous. It's dangerous for his kids. You know, an ounce of coke and his human fleshlight side piece. You know, that's fine. We'll have foursomes and coke parties in our house, but bleach, you know, the kids might get into it. Who knows? The 8-year-old might not be able to handle knowing that, hey, this is cleaning material. Don't drink this.
Go ahead and say this. If someone is accused of always manipulating people for no reason, I'll humbly suggest they're not actually manipulating people.
So how does that make sense? If someone's always accused of trying to manipulate people, they're probably not trying to manipulate people. How does that logic follow through? Usually, right? Public opinion is a thing. Think about it like this, chat. Say you work with somebody who's a complete fucking asshole, or cunt, depending on the gender. And the more you talk to your other coworkers, you go, man, this person's a huge asshole or cunt. Oh, so it's not just me? They're like, oh no, this person's fucking horrible to deal with. And then everyone starts talking to each other and be like, oh, you've had a bad experience too? Shit, this person, yeah. Then typically, if more than one person is saying something, it tends to add credibility to the rest of the people saying the thing. So how does it make any sense? Well, other people are saying I'm a manipulative sociopath. So now that there are multiple people saying that I'm a manipulative sociopath, it's probably not true. It's not true. All right, let's let this fucking dude continue his little cope session.
I mean, you can believe whatever you want. I'm not here to change that. I can't. I can't manipulate you into believing me. If I could, I'd be way richer. All right? Here's the crazy thing. Josh can never figure out what the manipulation is. It's just that what I tell him doesn't fit his story up here. If it doesn't fit Josh's story up here, he can't fathom how it happens. But Josh is retarded. I love him. He's a lovable retard, but he is. His life is not a normal person's life, and that is fine.
Gotta love his signature,
but it
though.
makes him have trouble identifying with other people in real situations over and over and over. And that's shown through it's actually kind of a joke on the forum itself. He just doesn't get it because he doesn't live in the world that other people do. He lives in a world of nastiness, of crazy, insane people, of antics that go beyond the normal bounds of human comedy. He doesn't live like, he doesn't even live like me, and I'm ridiculous. His is more so. But all right. He goes, yeah, apparently manipulating everyone all the time. Nothing you tell me will ever be taken at face value, and in this instance, it's just another obvious lie that makes me roll my eyes. Notice what Josh hasn't done. He has not found the instance where I have said what he says I said. He says, I know you think it's very, very clever to continuously imply things.
We're
and
getting
backtrack
so
what you
meta
said
here,
immediately.
guys.
Like that time you were talking to some blonde woman and basically said the government plants evidence all the time. The government plants evidence all the time. They do. It's news story after news story after news story. We find it over and over and over. And he says, when she directly asked to confirm if you were saying that happened in your case, which was an obvious follow-up because it was plain that you were implying that, I wasn't. I was simply saying why you don't consent to searches ever. He says, you backtracked it immediately. I said, I didn't say that. I've never said that because I didn't and have never said that. It's amazing. He's like, you told the truth. Yes, Josh. It's like, see? So your truth was a lie because you meant it to be. No, Josh. You needed it to be. But I never said that.
Hold on, guys. I think we're going to have to hit unintelligible because I didn't understand a fucking word that he said. Like, it, I guess in sentence structure made sense, but it was unintelligible. Like, my brain just said, nah, bro, I'm giving up on that. Let's continue.
That's the whole point of all of this. He says, you do this continuously. You insinuate through gritted teeth. Oh, shit, I didn't get the more. I'll read it to you. The more says, I mean, maybe I'm hiding something. You insinuate through gritted teeth that XYZ happened, and it was a knowingly malicious and deliberate effort by a state actor to accomplish some evil deed at your expense. Then when pressed, you look away from the camera and say, well, I didn't say that. Except I don't do that. It's, again, it's amazing because for his thing to be right, his premise is that requires me to do the thing that he needs me to do. It's very circular. I have to be making the implication to then deny the implication. But I'm denying the implication because I didn't make it. So anyway, he says, I'm not one of your children. You can't lie to me. Oh, dude, my children are way better lie detectors than you are, Josh. He said, Josh, the hardest thing for you to realize one day is that I don't. So please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. Now, Josh ran to...
So I love that little bit where he said, my children are better lie detectors than you are. And then also, I don't lie, like ever. Really, if that's the case, then how the fuck do your kids detect lies and that you are familiar with them being good at detecting lies? That seems to imply that you lie to your kids a lot and then they pick up on your bullshit really quick. It's kind of... that's directly what he's saying, right? Let's hear him try to backtrack that fucking statement, huh? Caleb, good to see you, buddy.
So anyway,
good morning.
He says, I'm not one of your children. You can't lie to me. Oh, dude, my children are way better lie detectors than you are, Josh. He said, Josh, the hardest thing for you to realize one day is that I don't. So please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. Now, Josh ran to the forums again right after I sent him this, and he said, Nick dared me to do it. No, I didn't dare you to do anything. Jesus Christ, man. So please go find it. He says in his affidavit, sworn under oath, to be truthful, that I said this, but I didn't say it. And please go find it. He says, I will. I intend to compile a list of every time that you implied that someone from the police department did something wrong to you. Knock yourself out, I guess. You've been doing it since your first stream out of jail. I'm going to have to do this anyways because it's the only way to justify getting the body cam footage released without your consent, and you've got April locked down. Yes, shackled to the floor, unable to move. She's not even a real person. She has no will, Josh. And don't even try that. You've been lying about who you were and what you stand for since the first time you cut on a fucking camera. I think you meant put on? Got on? I'm not sure. Look, my phone fucks up all the time. I'm not criticizing him. I said, nope. Other people project onto me. That's not my fault. That being said, I wish you well in your endeavors in regards to finding those accusations. It's true. I wish him well. I wish him well. So here we go. Let's get.
Do you wish him $1 million, though? Do you wish him $1 million, Nick? That's what everyone wants to know. We're going to take a second here, I believe. What I'm looking for should only take me a second. Because I believe it's in these exchanges somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. I never dared you to do anything, to which Josh responds with a screenshot of, please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. You know, Nick said, I never dared you to do anything. Please, and then he said, no, earlier you told me this. Please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case. There you go, Nick. But of course, he's not looking greasy. It's not true, indeed. As a matter of fact, it was probably you who dared yourself to find that evidence of me saying that.
Of this shit. Oh boy. I know this is wild fun, guys.
Isn't it just?
This is going to get very meta here because there's screenshots in this one. I know this is wild fun, and we'll get on with the case update when we're done with this Josh conversation. We will. So here we go. So finish with the accusations. There's only one screenshot that matters because the other two you've already seen. It's just a repeat of the earlier conversation. We'll skip those in a
Please
second.
put grease in his
He
hair.
says, thanks. And it said, Josh, are you lying intentionally or just chronically imprecise? And then I screenshotted his post. He says, King Baldo has again reached out, King Baldo, God, I wish, through a system of ropes and pulleys to declare the following. Here's what he paraphrased into. He has never said that the police did anything wrong.
King
during the
Baldo.
execution of the search
I
warrant.
wish.
That's
he
actually
says.
not what
Bro,
I said. And that's
you
not
don't
true.
have to. He said it's not true again. I love it. Like, if we had to take a shot for every time this dude said it's not true in this one stream, I'd be fucking wasted playing guitar. It's not true. And then he's King Baldo. He says, I wish. Dude, you don't have to wish anything. You are Lord Baldo. When people think the Baldo, they think Nick Rekieta. There's Nick Rekieta, and him being associated with the Baldo is more popular than the Baldo itself. You don't have to wish anything, Nick. You already are the king of the Baldo. In fact, people refer to you as Baldo. There are several YouTube channels that just say, no, Baldo had this to say. All right, we'll continue on here.
I believe I've said they've made mistakes. I haven't said anything about what they are. But I did not say they haven't done that they did nothing wrong. I just said they didn't. I've never said they planted evidence. This is what Josh has done. He has shifted the language and moved the goalposts to make his lies version into a form of truth.
All right, let's rewind it a little bit here.
Because it's like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Pussy a whole bunch.
The biggest political.
Well, I gave a statement willingly because I wanted to call the cop a pussy a whole bunch. Sorry, I'm kind of an asshole.
You did call the cop a pussy?
Yeah.
I'm sure he liked that.
Did you show him the Baldo?
That
Did you
wasn't
show
gonna
him the
get me
Baldo,
in any
Nick?
worse issue than I was in at the time. So it was like, I said, where's your probable cause statement for the warrant? Like you showed me the warrant, which just says they have the warrant to search your house. And I was like, yeah, based on what? And I said, I know your probable cause bullshit. So show it to me. He's like, oh no, I got it. I got this probable cause. And I'm serious. This is how I was acting. It was funny. He's like, I got your probable cause. I was like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Like, you know it's bullshit. So that was fun, having a nice exchange with another citizen.
Better than King Baldo.
Deadpool says,
God,
no,
Baldo.
why doesn't matter
Yeah,
if my
right?
home is searched. I don't use drugs, and there's none in my house.
You know
No, it
what's
is.
interesting is that you may not know what's in your house.
Woohoo! That's why you gotta do a spring cleaning.
You may not know what cops bring into your house either.
You think cops brought stuff into your house?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
The guy just fucking lied about what I said. He lied about what I said.
He lied about what I said. Fucking disingenuous prick. Exactly. He chased the cops, screaming, "Get back over here and fuck my wife." Excuse me, our wife. Our wife, Kayla, spelled with a Q-U.
Because he can't be. He had all these messages. He had them. But his paraphrase is imprecise. And it's really important because, again, Josh put under oath, swearing that it was true and correct, that I said a thing that I haven't said. He did that through his lawyer.
I put drunk. All
I
right,
didn't do that
guys.
to him.
I
sent him a
put
message.
drunk, and I'm considering this a bingo. All right, he might not be obviously like fucked up like he was on the Coke stream, but I'm throwing in my 2 cents that this dude's had a few drinks. Just my opinion.
He did this. And then when I say, hey, John, I didn't say that. Now he's like, he's changing it. And he's changing the language that he used. It's amazing. So he goes, search warrant on his premises and both dares me and wishes me luck in finding evidence to the contrary to support a petition to the Candy County Sheriff's Department. I said, this is not what I said. And I also didn't dare him. I did wish him luck. Or I think I wished him well. I wished him well. I didn't even wish him luck. Very imprecise, Josh. How embarrassing. All right, here we go. Let's get to the next one. I'm going to skip the screen grabs. This is the last one. Okay? So we can stop the suffering soon. Here we go.
We're watching Arcada stream, bro.
Guess I gotta get the whole thing just so people know I'm not like grabbing some other fucking conversation or something weird. Should I get accused of these days? So here's the screenshots again. Back to where we were. It says, "Can you give me a quote then?" What? Like what? Are you a newspaper? You're gonna publish a quote? I said, "I also never dared you to do anything." Then he puts a screenshot. "Please go back and find me actually accusing the police of planting anything in my case." I said, "I'm literally asking. I'm not taunting or daring you."
I'm not daring you. I'm asking you. Like he really thinks he's hell. He thinks he's this master chess player. You gotta love it.
Say, if I met somewhere and alleged that, I would want to know. We both have an interest in that allegation. So look, man, I've literally only ever contacted you for your own information. You've suggested multiple times that I'm demanding a retraction or correction. I always tell you no. Trying to convince someone else to correct the record for an internet audience is nonsensical. So there you go. Joshua Moon. I don't like doing that. I really don't. But dude, the guy just fucking lied about what I said. He lied about what I said in his affidavit that he filed with the court. And then when I'm like, "Hey, dude, I didn't say that," he's like, "Haha, you did." It's like, where? Sorry.
Sorry, Kiwi Bros. Tough day to be a Kiwi farmer.
I don't know what
Tough
else to do.
time.
It fucking sucks.
Tough break,
Okay.
Karen Farms.
This is the nature. This is how Josh has chosen to do this for years, by the way. Conversations like that are why Josh has been mad at me. Because when he would say something and be like, "Hey man, that's actually not right." He goes, "Do you want me to correct it?" And I'd say, "No." "Do you want me to kick someone off the forums?" "No." "Well, who's violating the rules?" "Josh, I don't do that. Like, I'm not asking you to do anything." And then he'd go on the forums and say, "Oh, man, Nick's asking me to censor stuff for sweep." No. Never have I asked Josh to take anything off the forums. I've never asked him to issue a retraction. I've never asked him to correct a statement.
So this is
Every
the
time
dear Josh stream, right? Oh man, he's looking right into the camera. It's unsettling.
He said that was Josh lying or misunderstanding. I'll even give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's just literally retarded. But it sucks because that's who Josh has become. It's his own myopia that does it. That myopia is the same thing that fuels cops, and it's the same thing that fuels local government workers. That is what gets people in the system and keeps people in the system. That myopia is what takes away rights. Josh has a story in his head about what must be, and facts that don't fit his story get ignored. Any little thing that comes close to his story gets overemphasized. It's confirmation bias. Confirmation bias runs the court system in the United States. The criminal justice system has some protections built into it. They do. The family court system does not. The family court system has a reduced ability to protect your rights. It's a civil case. So when you exercise your Fifth Amendment rights, the court is permitted to draw a negative inference, where in a criminal case, they can't. That's one of the very basic ones. They get to draw negative inferences from you protecting yourself from criminal prosecution.
He's so full of shit, my brain just wants to tune him out.
Sucks. But here's the thing. When a worker, whose job it is to determine the safety of children, for example, gets an idea in their head, not facts, but an idea in their head, that there's a dangerous situation or environment or person, and they genuinely even want to protect children, they may be protecting them from a fantasy. The problem is...
Nick, you lying sack of shit. There was 26 grams of coke found in your bedroom. The same bedroom you shared with another man who was fucking your wife. Another man, the man who was feeding your kids, who you have money in the bank, but your kids still had to have SpaghettiOs because you were too busy having a guy fuck our wife. Right? And that's been confirmed. The 26 grams of coke being found in your master bedroom are confirmed in the court documents. So at what point are people projecting their own myopic projection of reality? And at what point are you just a shitty fucking junky piece of shit? Is the truth somewhere in between there? Or are you a guy who just has some substance abuse problems and the living situation there wasn't so bad? If that's the case, just admit that, and I don't know, show everybody how bad your house looked back then. You could always allow your consent to the footage to come out to, of course, show everyone that your word is trustworthy. But I'm not going to hold my breath while the cops planted the coke in his daughter's system. That's more or less what he's implying. And then when you ask him if that's what he meant, he goes, oh, no, of course, that would be absurd. This fucking guy
is trying to convince them that their fantasy is wrong. Because when you present them with evidence that their fantasy is wrong, they literally just ignore it. Or as happened to us, throw a tantrum because the evidence did not say what their fantasy said. And when we presented it to them, they were angry. Not at us. They just thought the evidence had to be fake. It had to be something else. It had to not be real. Because their story up here mattered more than the story that was actually in front of them.
All right, so if that's the case, let's go ahead and take a break from this fucking guy talking. We'll bring up this Kiwi Farms post that was from a couple of hours ago from MN Public Records. Interesting new matter of public record hatched. Your pessimistic interpretation of the May 28th transcripts, total silence on hair follicle test results would appear to be onto something, as it was not until the June 6th hearing that the Guardian ad litem, GAL, said, we just got the child's hair follicle test back. Maybe there's some non-zero chance that what they just got back was somehow referring to something almost 2 weeks old, but one could be forgiven for instead inferring that Nick's ill-advised diatribe on May 28th simply reflected his expectation that positive test results were coming up in the near future. But didn't he assure his audience in the Kumalat interview that when we had heard this result, that he was dumbstruck, that he was baffled, and it was an impossible result? How will he try to reconcile these apparent contradictions? Predictably, the Guardian ad litem also elaborated on the same usual frustration echoed in the case plans from later in June, that the parents' persistent inhibition to be really transparent and open about the key topics like how did the drugs get into the home and how do we prevent them from coming back into the home, and then how did that child test positive for cocaine, had led an impasse in the Guardian ad litem's efforts to develop a case plan for trajectory passing through incremental benchmarks like unsupervised visits and trial home visits on the way toward unconditional reunification before the Minnesota timeframes expire. Instead of building that successful working relationship, we've since seen the attached July 12th motion posted here previously, trying to get this same Guardian ad litem fired for the cardinal sin of obtaining the parents' May 30th hair follicle test, so very relevant to doing her job. Anyone wonder if antagonizing her like this got in the way of the kids coming back even sooner than now? And it shows the court documents here, May 28th, Mr. Rekieta. Also, I would like to indicate that the petition drafted by the county itself indicates that the children were in no knowledge of any drugs being in the home and are not aware of any use, and any testing of the children that would result in drug use, according to the children, would be because of secondary exposure from other sources. And then on June 6th, from Christy Barber, they say, we're really early on in the case, yet we've just got the child's hair follicle test back. So Rekieta, more than a week before the courts had a hair follicle test, seemed to be trying to get ahead of explaining why there would be a positive test. So even though the court wasn't aware of any a positive test from the child, Nick seemed to be already trying to explain to the court why they would be turning up positive. Why would that be? Why might it be that Nick seemed to be expecting a positive test before there was any mention of it in the court? Strange indeed. So I guess from here. So what is my myopic imagination? Just filling in the details. Explain this one, Nick.
That's what myopia does. That's what that single-mindedness does. When you're unwilling to consider facts that are contrary to your fantasy. You become unreliable to yourself. I'm sure I have done this a million times. It's a natural human thing. We're supposed to guard against it. The internet breeds circles where the checks on that go away quickly. And tons of people have been on the receiving end of it. Thank God most of them don't have their families impacted. Anyway.
Take that, Kiwi
With
Farms.
that, there's a very apropos super chat by Drex is a Niger pedophile groomer. Interesting name, I guess. The message was deleted, but I really wish it wasn't deleted. The message said, interesting new matter of public record attached. I don't know why people think I'm like afraid of that message. I'm guessing the Minnesota Public Records account that has been sharing documents on Kiwi Farms has shared the second half of the court transcript from June 7th. Okay. The court transcript on June 7th was on June 7th. That case is now resolved. So all of the summaries and surmises and philosophizing and predictorizing that happened. I can't believe Nick said that in court. What was he doing? Better than you think, actually. But all of the predictions and all of the nonsense about that, guess what? You were wrong. I'm sorry. You weren't correct. You looked at dollar signs and decided to discard truth.
There's a little
you put
bit
your
of projection.
credentials up as evidence that you would be right, and you're wrong. Funny thing was, I was telling you it was going to go differently, but you didn't listen.
Sorry, Kiwi. I gotta play it. Hold on.
I'd say egg on your face, but you'd eat it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Kiwi Fags. Life doesn't work out the way you pretend it does.
Blown the fuck out. You see, we were all sitting here thinking, man, is he really gonna have to be a dad again? I'm totally blown. Joke's on you guys, alright? I'm not a deadbeat dad anymore. Now, hold on while I go spend 3 hours live streaming and drinking Monster energy drink. This guy. Excellent freeze frame, too, if I don't mind saying so myself.
Anyway, look, I mean, if Minnesota Public Records released the second half of the hearing transcript from, what, 2 fucking months ago on the case that's over now? All right. I hope you enjoy reading what I knew a long time ago. I don't have much else to say. But, all right, there's a couple of super chats that we're going to get to, and then I'll talk a little bit more about this, because there's some speculation I want to dispel.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the other topics, too. Don't worry, we got it.
We got a little bit more, I guess.
Nasser Puto. Mr. No, I don't feel so good. Signed Kiwi Bros, and potentially there's a...
Nice. Yep.
Most Dope 401 says, could you please look at Russell... Fuck the state in the eye with a fork. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. So here we go. The Squid says, I know you can't go into detail, but you getting the kid's bag as proof a certain hair test was complete BS. Patio Furniture says, do you think
He
Mr.
skips
Phoenix
right.
is Antichrist?
He
No,
skips
I think
right
he's
past that super chat. You notice that? Hey, you having your kids back is proof that the drug test is complete bullshit. And then he just moves on. No comment. No fucking comment. I wonder why.
Like, one of those weird supertisms that just happened to get into like social media at the right time, and suddenly was like, haha, billions. I don't know about you, but just seeing his soy face and weird fake smile makes my skin crawl. He's got an uncanny valley thing to him, kind of like Zuckerberg. Let's see.
Didn't he imply he was like
Rob Bryce says, Nick, glad you're doing well, enjoying
recently
time with
too?
the fam. Shit's all fucked up with me still fighting to get my spine surgery. It's been a fucking joke dealing with people who make vegetables seem brilliant. Sorry, man, that fucking sucks. I hope that gets better. Gets better for you. Rage LB says, does weed still... Lots of dumb... Get into a discussion about the case, and I can't... There are things I can talk about, and there's a bunch of stuff I can't, which I'm about to talk about what I can't talk about. Not that way in just a second. Terrestrial IG Music says, after 2 years of deliberation, I decided to join your ranks. Hey, thank you. I don't know about your personal ethics, but your heart is probably in the right place. I support them.
All right, we'll skip a little bit more.
That's true. That's true. You don't do it. Okay. Real quick. We've got a word from our sponsor. That's right.
Oh, the 5G bullshit.
You scan the QR code on the right side of your screen. Have an email from
Damn, how the mighty have fallen, huh?
Polar Donuts is trash. That's right.
This dude used to
Fucking
make
hate Dunkin'
a
Donuts.
fucking killing. A
I
killing.
hope they get turned into little cake balls. I hope they get ripped apart and cry later. Bust the hymen of every Dunkin' Donuts. Never put one of those in your mouth. Gross. Anyway, so here's the solution. I thought I just said it.
Cutting a promo for $17.75 coffee.
Oh, thank God, donuts. And then I remembered it was Dunkin' Donuts. It's like, oh. Posed it. I never liked that lawyer. The lawyer who brought it up the first time. I was nonplussed and non-impressed with his non-performance. It was his baby, and he's like, oh, it's a great idea. No, it was a terrible fucking idea, you weirdo. But hey, he brought it up, and so then it got bandied about back on the table as a viable option. Very silly thing. Was shot down over and over. But hey, one guy was really married to that idea. Go figure. But no, the kids are back home. They're back home full time. They're here now. They're asleep because it's bedtime. All of that. And it's great. It's really nice to have them back. And everybody who said otherwise, like, oh, Nick doesn't want his kids back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, your internet stuff is funny, but real life is real. And reality matters. And the reality of the situation is that 5 kids were put into really a lot of bullshit. And it's built on the backs of bullshit. And that bullshit takes a long fucking time to fight and correct, especially when your rights are abridged during the process. So
Is
that
this
being
dude
said,
troll shielding? Seriously. I'm not misinterpreting that, am I? How I took that is everyone should feel bad who've been talking shit about Nick Rekieta because his kids had to suffer. Dude, the kid's suffering is sad. It's fucked up. That's why everyone's pissed. It's because they were put in a situation like this. People who aren't affiliated with the internet or any of the, let's just call it, cartoony shit that happens. And all of us should feel bad because you got caught with nearly an ounce of cocaine in your fucking house. He's using them as a shield from internet criticism. That's really something else. Oh damn, yeah, that hairline. Yikes.
that phase is over, and now we move on to the criminal phase of our case. I say phases; they're separate cases; they just run parallel. But the criminal matter is ongoing. I cannot talk about it. Let me put a little asterisk there. People can always.
If Nick, if you didn't have an ounce of coke in your fucking house, none of this would be a problem. This isn't Kiwi Farms' fault. This isn't the internet's fault that you had coke in your house. Or that you were showing up to church blitzed out of your mind. It's so bad that they had noticed and then called the police on your ass. Most people don't want to get involved with shit. Most people tend to stick to themselves and, what's that phrase? Allow things to sort themselves out. Nick Rekieta and his wife and his fleshlight had to have been so fucked up out of their mind that onlookers went, holy shit, somebody needs to do something about this. That's how fucking... He had to have been... I mean, we've seen the coke stream, so I can only imagine. But it's no one's fault but his. And the sooner you take responsibility, Nick, the sooner you can begin growing as a man. There's that... what is it with... I was going to say Alcoholics Anonymous, or it might be for addiction in general. The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. Are you going to look everybody into the eye, look the camera dead in the eye, and say, I don't have a problem? I don't think anyone will believe you.
Talk about their criminal cases unless there's a gag order. When I say, in this instance, about my criminal case that I cannot talk about it, I certainly can. I have the ability to. I have the First Amendment right to. But it's not wise to talk about most aspects of the case. And so those aspects of the case that should not be talked about, I won't talk about. There are a couple things that through this process I have felt comfortable talking about and issuing specific statements on. Usually, it's a statement about Minnesota law. Like when I talked about the filing of the long-term placement plans, even though the children were not looking at long-term placement, I felt it would be useful to dispel the improper notion that they were going to be placed on some permanent basis outside of the home or long-term basis outside of the home. I thought it useful to dispel that notion and educate people, say, hey, actually, Minnesota requires these timelines and things have to be filed by certain dates.
It was important to correct the haters and correct the record about the living situation of my kids. It should be no business of anybody, dude. Keep that shit to yourself.
Not the trajectory that the case is going. So they run them parallel to what's actually going on, because there's always a chance that the people on the track will fuck up and go off the track, and they'll have to go with the alternate plan. And once that happens, they're up against a statutory timeline, and so they have to run them both with the hope that the one thing goes right and the fear that the backup plan will need to be used. I tried to explain that because it's a point of Minnesota law, and it doesn't actually say anything specific about my case. Other stuff I've talked about is rather general. I've talked about things like what Minnesota has to prove in our criminal case. They have to prove something called possession, probably constructive possession. There are elements to it. I'm not going to get into it now, but that's what they have to do. There are facts in my case that make this not the easiest thing in the world, and those facts may be brought before the court. People have consistently gotten things wrong about what's going on outside of the courtroom. I'm not always inclined to correct them, but one of them that happened early on, for example, was Lady Rackets and I both posted bond at the exact same time. For whatever reason, her bond did not get filed into her case, and people thought that I posted bond and she did not, and that there was some speculation about some rift or some plan or some setup there, when actually it was just a government mistake. The government has made mistakes all over this case. In fact, some of the documents that have come out, specifically unredacted documents, are due to some level of government mistake somewhere.
See, there it is. That's where he'll walk that one back eventually. But the problems with the case that are happening right now is the fact that anyone knows about any of this stuff. In fact, there are all these errors everywhere, and I won't specify where the errors exist, but I'm just going to go ahead and say there are numerous errors in these documents and the execution of the warrant into my case and all of these things. It's been... Get a load of this guy. Like, imagine watching all of this stream and not picking up one lie. He's consistently just been full of shit this entire time.
Just how it is. There's a lot of things that go on in these cases. A lot of people touch them, and mistakes get made all the time. I want that to be clear, because people both underemphasize and overemphasize government mistakes, government malfeasance, and government maliciousness. They're not all the same thing. Government makes mistakes all the time. Those errors don't always and often don't have an impact on the overall case, but the mistakes still happen.
Whoops. Sorry, Nick. We totally didn't mean to drop that ounce of coke into your fucking bedroom. Our bad. Dude, how did government malfeasance lead to your 8-year-old child turning up positive for cocaine? Explain that one, Nick. Is that one of the things that you can't talk about or that you can't comment on, right? Conveniently. One of the big criticisms that people have of you. It's just one of those things. You simply can't mention anything about it.
The lack of filing of the bond for Lady Rackets at the same time that mine was filed probably was not going to have any income. There's a theoretical possibility that the bond not being filed could in some way lead to, like that weekend before it got corrected, something happening that would look like a violation of release conditions that would then result in some sort of hearing, which would be annoying and possibly have like an arrest included, but it would be a mistake that wasn't anybody's like particular fault. But the likelihood of that was exceedingly low. So it wasn't that.
So I actually wanted to switch back to this because, Johnny Arcade, he says it right here.
Code, no, I got it. I got this probable cause.
It's in the stream where he's playing it up like he was talking tough to the police officer, but in the document that you can go and read, it says that he asked for the warrant, and then when he got it, he crumpled it up and threw it on the ground.
Serious. This is how he was acting. It was funny. He's like, I got your probable cause. I was like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Like, you know it's bullshit.
And then he handed it to you, and then you looked at it and went, damn it. And then you went, damn it, and threw it on the ground. He did have your probable cause right there, didn't he, Nick?
So, that was fun. Having a nice exchange with another citizen.
Deadpool says, you know why it doesn't matter if my home is searched? I don't use drugs, and there's none in my house.
You know what's interesting is that you may not know what's in your house.
Woohoo! That's why you gotta do a spring cleaning.
You may not know what cops bring into your house either.
You think cops brought stuff into your house?
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. No, you implied it. At least have the balls, as a man, to stand behind your fucking words, you coward. You absolute sweaty, greasy-looking rat. You fucking worthless cokehead.
That big of a deal, and there wasn't anything we could do to correct it, because I think we posted the bond, and then we found
Look how fucking, like, the rings around his eyes.
a mistake that wasn't anybody's like particular fault, but the likelihood of that was exceedingly low. So it wasn't that big of a deal, and there wasn't.
Like, look at this guy. There's no way this dude isn't all right. On drugs, I'm hitting that one too, boys. Like, we're definitely going for another line of bingo. So, as you can see, on drugs should... There we go. We now have 2 lines of bingo. Or as we call it, 2 Nick Reketas. All right, let's continue.
Anything we could do to correct it, because I think we posted the bond, and then we found out that it hadn't been filed by Friday, and over the weekend you can't like fix it. You have to wait till the next workday to do so. And when I went in to go fix it, it was already done.
Johnny Arcade. We're at 1.5 speed for this video because we've watched a lot of it as he was going through the DMs and coping his ass off. So he is speaking much faster than normal, thankfully.
Like they'd already fixed it. They must have known about it. I'm guessing they got inquiries. I'm not sure. But that happens. People need to get out of their heads the idea that every government mistake is somehow impactful to the case. Some of them are just government mistakes. There are mistakes that can be very impactful to the case. We saw this with Alec Baldwin's case, right? It resulted in a dismissal. Some people think the dismissal is improper. I'm hearing people say the dismissal is improper. Look, I've seen some proper dismissals. I've seen improper dismissals. None of them measure up. Alex really good, quite good. Good actor, not a great guy.
Please no.
When you start getting into court cases and how government works and the machine of it, actually, I think Josh mentioned this on the forum as something I said. He's, again, trying to imply something that is more than what I said. But that doesn't... Let's just do it this way. I said at one point that people overestimate what a conspiracy needs to be. It's not always a conspiracy that fucks someone over. What happens is that one government worker not doing their job well enough in one spot can cause a ton of problems, even up to and including criminal charges and stuff like that. I'm not saying that happened specifically in my case before anybody accuses me of saying that. I'm not. However, there are little mistakes that have happened in my case that have caused great consternation at other parts of the case. And those little mistakes are probably inadvertent.
I'm going to switch this to 720.
But the point of that is to say that this system is set up
overloaded.
in a way in which very small mistakes from one individual can have massive impact on the life of an accused person. The reason I bring that up is only to say this system is a meat grinder. And it is designed to wear you down, break you down, shame you, and destroy you. And if you don't believe that, get in it sometime. Actually, don't, because it's fucking horrible. But that's how this is.
But how does this explain the 26 grams of coke?
Works. And just those little laziness or laxities can lead to big problems for people. That's a reality that exists. People should understand that all of your rights, all of the things that protect you, that's all paper, baby. Bullets have taken away a lot of rights, and cops have been let off for those bullets, even when the bullets fired are unjust. Obviously, no one was shot in this case. Thank Christ. No one was shot in this case. Could have happened, but it didn't. But those little mistakes that are forgiven all the time are why the government needs to be held to the maximum standard, because they hold the power over you in a way that you cannot even compete with. The government makes press releases that are absolutely devastating. You want to see one? Here you go. What do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? I'll tell you what I think in advance, because I know this is going to get misinterpreted just by the context of the conversation. I think this guy deserves probably to have his nuts pulled off by a leather belt being tightened and tied to a train, okay? Just to put it out there. Here we go. Here's this crazy news story straight out of Minnesota. From the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Minnesota, volleyball coach indicted for sexually exploiting minors on social media and producing child sexual abuse material. Okay, before we go farther, I'm guessing this is a federal case. We've covered federal child sexual exploitation cases. They're gross. They usually have a massive amount of evidence. They usually have logs of the person being gross, electronic communications that have been captured through sort of like catfishing or sting operations. I haven't looked this one up. We're gonna, because it's probably really fucking interesting. But imagine this. This is a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office. This guy doesn't get to defend himself publicly the way the U.S. Attorney's Office gets to accuse him publicly. And just that power disparity alone, because anything he says will be used against him in court. Anything the government says won't be used against them. That power disparity alone is why the protections are built into the system. Now, this guy probably deserves the wall, if you know what I'm saying. And we are going to look up this case, not tonight, but we're going to look it up really soon. This should horrify you as the subject of the case. A Minnetonka man has been indicted for the production and receipt of child sexual...
So is he literally like reading this case and projecting himself into that scenario? This could be any of us. I don't think it would be, though. I'm a human being. I'm a man with human decency. Well, shit, chat. He has another hour we could watch. But I think that about sums it up for all of the Kiwi Farms, Knoll, shower texts. Let's jump ahead a little bit. Good God, he looks like such shit. Like, Ralph looks healthier than this guy.
If you're one of those people who use the phrase toxic masculinity because you're intimidated by real men who embrace their primal instincts, who writes these? Their primal instincts. You should probably turn this off right now. Literally. That's some naked organs. I don't know about...
All right, he really is trying to sell products right now. It's pretty sad.
The sensible savage, right? The sensible savage is to grind up a bison and shove it into a capsule and eat that. So, look, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a multivitamin, if you're looking for things to kind of regulate shit in your body as you get older, give it a peek. BeNaked.com. Seriously, like, go look. If you're looking around, I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and buy supplements. I don't know if that's against the rules. They didn't say so. But if you're looking for a supplement, give it a shot. There. That was a little more serious. Because I know there are guys out there who are like, well, shit, kind of tired every day, whatever. And you go looking for some solutions. And you're not rich enough to do what the like senators do, where they just grind up children and like eat those or whatever. Like Nancy.
There it is. I knew it was coming. Joke doesn't land.
Hits the tongue. It's a very good. It's a very good whiskey at that price.
That is another
$100
bingo.
A bottle. It's one of the best $100 bottles there is, and it is an accessible whiskey to people who maybe haven't had a ton. I'd give it a shot. I'd recommend it every time. Angels Envy Rye. Yeah, finishing the Caribbean rum.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Is really good. Kara Fro, welcome to paralegal status. Thank you. Thank you for that. So back to this thing. So it's the oldest democracy in the world. So that is part of my background. Without question, has had a great deal of influence on what I do today and who I am.
Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna skip past that.
The way that they communicate one way or another, like some of them will be extremely vulgar and crass in a way that is different than now. It somehow was acceptable then, but now the way they talk is not acceptable. Whereas the way other, like you might talk, would be completely unacceptable in their day. And they're
Yeah, I heard about that. Camelot. I haven't seen the clip of him saying that, but Camelot saying everyone knows about Nick's hooker addiction in response to the Hedonism 2 allegations. I remember when everyone thought that was like a half joke. Like, he's getting cucked, our wife, Hedonism 2, and God. If only you knew how bad things really are.
They're gassed, and you're like, holy shit, but you just said the N-word like 55 times.
Based.
And you feel like you don't belong in that group. Everybody's experienced, I shouldn't say everybody, many people have experienced this. And then many other people are like, no, I kind of just slide into groups and I can figure it out. You listen for a minute, and you're like, okay, I can pick up the beat of this conversation. I know what we're talking about, and you can get in. That's how salesmen do it every day.
Also, blitzed on acid, I can believe that.
But implying that code switching means you're actually more educated and understand what someone's going through is not true. It can be just a pantomime of their communication that gives a false layer of familiarity and puts someone at ease. Because you don't want them to feel like the stick in the mud in the conversation. Usually you're selling something. Jason TJ says, what's with the new pic of Macron kissing a black dude on a yacht? Real? What about his husband? I have no idea. It's real, dog. 100%. I don't know, but I'm going to say it is. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I love it. I love all this shit. I love the apologetics for everything that's been horrible forever. Because now Kamala does it. And they need her. They need her to be black. They need the black vote. I think it's, what is it? The black vote consists of...
All right, we'll skip ahead a little bit.
Obama was the first black president. He's just as white.
All right, let's skip a little bit more.
I think we're going to wrap up the show.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. What are you thinking, chat? He's got another few more minutes, so I wonder if he's going to
we're going to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for watching tonight.
Make any new accusations, eh?
I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being here.
It was all
for
right.
The news. Again, huge news for me and my family. And it's one step closer to the end. No, it's one step closer to being kind of back on track and back to normalcy. I'm not over. I've got a ways to go in the criminal case. And I can't tell you about what's coming in it other than like what's like I got a hearing at whatever time. Like that's those things are kind of out there. I can't talk to you about the specifics of the case because they have to be brought in very specific ways. But anyway, to everybody out there who supports me, thank you so much. To everybody out there who doesn't, it's cool, man. I told you from the beginning, nobody has any reason to believe me.
Put the word peace.
End
it with peace.
Counter narratives by talking because I'm really restrained on what I am able to say reasonably without damaging my case. And so I have to accept the fact that people may not believe me and may not like me for a while. I'm sorry. That's okay though. I forgive everybody. There's nothing to forgive. You get to make the decisions about people based on what you can see. And you get one side of the story, and unfortunately it's not mine. One day when I get to tell the story, even if everything I say comports exactly with what happens, I don't think you're going to believe some of it. But it's a damn good story.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure we just got...
And I think you'll like hearing it.
Ceiling cats? I saw ceiling cats.
So that, with that, sometimes it sucks when your life is on display for people, but it is what it is. So at least I hope the show is something that you can get meaning for. Like, I legitimately mean this, meaning for out of your life. I've learned a lot from what we've been going through, and people are going to take that statement in a very different way than I mean it. It's not a happy learning. There's real fucking heartbreak in our story.
I agree 100%. He hinted at all sorts of stuff, but didn't actually say anything at all. He kept implying stuff and then walking it right back. So, yeah.
It's not from anywhere that you guys will have any ability to know right now. I guarantee you, none of you know what I'm talking about as I say this. But one day you probably will. Because I'll finally get to talk about it. Until then, I bid you all good night. I hope that you rest in your homes without worrying about a government coming through your door. Because no one wants that. And until next time, guys, I bid you farewell. Peace. Peace.
Yeah! We got it. We ended it with the peace. I was half joking. I didn't actually expect him to end his stream with peace. Peace. Oh boy, we're too blessed, chat. Like television companies and TV writers couldn't dream of writing shit this good. Yeah, right? Like I don't have any coke. I don't have any drugs. I mean, part of me says I wish I did. Fuck. And then I'd have a little bit of leeway with one Nick Rekieta, evidently. Evidently, it'd be capital in the Rekieta household. I might even be able to trade a little bit of that for some SpaghettiOs. That's apparently all that's in that house. Well, I have been reading everyone's comments. I've also just been trying to think of the next thing I'm going to say. Nick Rekieta could be vindicated 100%, and he still needs to quit drinking and doing drugs and having sex with other women who aren't his wife before and out of marriage. No, for real, Netflix could not create this if they tried. They try to make entertainment as good as this, and they just fall very, very short. Alright, well... There's only one thing to end on, right? There's one thing you can end on. And it's this clip right here. Damn, he looks sober. Holy shit, I'm so blown the fuck out.
Sorry, Kiwi Fags. Life doesn't work out the way you pretend it does.
Alright, guys. That'll be it for tonight. We'll be back next week at the same time as usual on the same day of the week. And remember, be yourself, because you might find yourself by yourself, and anybody can learn from their own mistakes, but it takes a wise guy like yourself to learn from the mistakes made by others, including this internet lawyer who continuously makes an ass out of himself every fucking time he opens his mouth. So yeah, good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you all next time with the next Midnight Show. Take care, everybody. Oh, wait. Peace.